Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
Time passed quickly. There were still more than 2 hours before night falls. Wu Tu, Xiao Xian, and the other lords of the 16 races investigated by the Heavenly Army had all been captured by Zhou Zhou. They had also captured 24 out of 32 Scarlet territories, including 5 green bronze tier Scarlet Lord territories, 4 white silver tier Scarlet Lord territories, 12 yellow gold tier Scarlet Lord territories, and 3 white platinum tier Scarlet Lord territories. He did not have the time to attack the remaining 4 white platinum tier Scarlet Lord territories, 2 diamond tier Scarlet Lord territories, and 2 extraordinary tier Scarlet Lord territories. Firstly, it was because of the planned route. In their planned route, because these territories were relatively far from Crimson River City, they were also arranged to attack last. Secondly, it was because Wu Tu and Xiao Xian had suddenly brought a piece of news that forced them to change their plans. Reporting to my lord, we discovered a huge violent storm group about 3,400 kilometers away from Crimson River City. These violent storms are sweeping towards us like a tsunami. There was still shock on Wu Tu's face. Obviously, he had never seen such a spectacular scene in his life. Xiao Xian was a little terrified. He had the talent, danger prediction, so he could sense how terrifying the violent storm was. That was a terrifying sense of danger that he had never felt since he was young. Zhou Zhou also noticed the strange expression on his face. His expression immediately turned serious. "Are you sure that the violent storm is coming for us? How fast is it?" he asked. "I'm very sure. As for their speed, if we don't evacuate now, I'm afraid they'll sweep here in less than an hour." Wu Tu reported. "Reach him in less than an hour over a distance of 3,400 kilometers? Zhou Zhou was shocked. This speed is a little ridiculous. He immediately realized the seriousness of the matter. With a thought, he passed the news to Bai Yun, Wu Xian, and the rest through the Bloodbat avatar. At the same time, he asked them to immediately put down their current attack quests and return to the Crimson River City as soon as possible. Meanwhile, he brought Wu Tu, Xiao Xian, and 2 elementary-grade extraordinary tier subordinates onto a starry night and quickly flew towards the violent storms that Wu Tu and the others had mentioned. The upgraded Starry Night was 3 to 4 times faster than the original Black Spirit. In less than 15 minutes, the Starry Night had flown more than 2,000 kilometers and arrived about 100 kilometers away from the violent storm. At this point, he could not continue forward. This was because from this position, Starry Night had already begun to be affected by the winds of the violent storm. There were already faint signs of imbalance in its body. If it got any closer, the Starry Night might not be able to withstand the terrifying wind pressure of the violent storm and be crushed in an instant. But even so, Wenye was also reminding him that the Starry Night's energy consumption was at a normal rate of 342%. Zhou Zhou couldn't blame the performance of the Starry Night. This was only a white silver tier advanced grade spaceship after all. To be able to have such a performance was already quite good. "Turn on the realistic exterior mode," Zhou Zhou said. "Activating realistic exterior mode. Successfully activated." When Ye's voice sounded. The next second, the captain's cabin that Zhou Zhou was in suddenly became transparent. He could clearly see the actual scenery outside, as if he was standing outside. He looked into the distance. One after another, towering and ferocious black-gray violent storms connected together. At a glance, there were thousands of huge violent storms that looked like they could be transmigrated without any gaps. They were as tall as the sky. From Zhou Zhou's point of view, he could not even see the end of their peaks. It was as if they were at the same height as the sky. Terrifying silver lightning bolts shuttled through the violent storms like silver pythons, creating countless thunderous explosions. Gusts swept across the ground, destroying everything in their path. Zhou Zhou had excellent eyesight. He even saw many fog monster factions and lord factions of the myriad races being swept into the endless black-gray violent storm in the blink of an eye because they did not have the time to escape. Amidst their fear and wails, they were swept into the building fragments, blood soil, and other unknown items. Some monster factions and lords of all races also noticed the starry night flying in the sky. However, they did not have time to think. They only wanted to escape. When Zhou Zhou saw this scene, he could not help but feel shocked. Was this the power of heaven and earth? Any life form below the level of a god spirit would probably be in danger of losing their lives in such a terrifying violent storm. At this moment, he came back to his senses. If nothing went wrong, this violent storm group should be the final battlefield's battlefield area will gradually shrink with time, described in the instructions. He did not expect it to shrink in such a way. Zhou Zhou took a look and recorded this scene. Then, he sent it to the Star Alliance's chat group. He decisively asked Wenya to control the crowd, control Starry Night, and retreat to Crimson River City as quickly as possible. 7 or 8 minutes later. Crimson River City. When Zhou Zhou returned, he realized that his soldiers, the members of the Lord Alliance, and his subjects had already gathered here. As soon as he alighted from the spaceship, the lords immediately surrounded him. "My lord, what's the video you posted? What a terrifying, violent storm. Is that also from the final battlefield? How far away is it from us?" "Lord, what exactly is that violent storm? Is it approaching us?" the lords said one after another. "Everyone, calm down," Zhou Zhou said. He pressed his hands down, and the lords naturally quietened down. Upon seeing this scene, Zhou Zhou nodded slightly and asked Bai Yun, "Is there anyone else who isn't here?" "All the personnel have arrived, and all the supplies have been packed. We can move at any time," Bai Yun said respectfully. He had already told Bai Yun and the others about the migration when he returned, so everything was already arranged. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. Then, he looked at the alliance members. "You're right. The violent storm is indeed approaching us. Therefore, there's no time to explain too much now. Listen to my orders first. Everyone, enter Starry Night in an orderly manner first. I'll tell you after we enter the Starry Night." When everyone heard this, they obeyed Zhou Zhou's orders obediently even though they wanted to know the answer. Under the arrangement of Bai Yun and the others, they entered Starry Night in an orderly manner. In the Starry Night, in a large conference room, Zhou Zhou, the general of Blazing Sun City, and all the lords were having a temporary meeting here. After Zhou Zhou told everyone what had happened, everyone heaved a sigh of relief when they saw the safe environment around them and the blood-colored scenery that quickly passed them by. "Thank you for your reminder, my lord. We might have died in that city if our lord hadn't discovered us in advance. I didn't expect the environment of the final battlefield to shrink so much. How terrifying. Fortunately, I joined the Lord's Alliance. Otherwise, I would probably only discover the violent storm group when it's right in front of me if I were to barge into the final battlefield alone." Everyone said one after another, their expressions somewhat rejoicing. They didn't have a vehicle like the Mechanostrider or the Starry Night. It was very likely that they would not be able to escape facing the sudden attack of the violent storm. They would be swept to death in the violent storm because they could not outrun the movement speed of the violent storm. How could they be sitting leisurely in the meeting room of the spaceship and watching the Scarlet Lord forces and the Lord forces of the myriad races escape, or even be destroyed like how they were doing now? On their first day in the Star Alliance, they deeply experienced the benefits of having the Lord of the Blazing Sun as their backer. The other lords might even happily plan to build a cavalryman unit because they had obtained some horses. As for Zhou Zhou, he had a spaceship. The difference was like the difference between primitive society and modern technology. How could this be justified? They were even more determined that it was the right choice for them to bring their territory and join the Lord of the Blazing Sun. I remember that the specific activities of the final battlefield have been explained in the 7th article. The final battlefield's environment is constantly shrinking during the day. When night falls, it will stop shrinking. It will only continue shrinking when it activates the next day. Now that the violent storm is behind us, it's impossible to stop and continue conquering the territory below. Therefore, I've decided that today's trip to the final battlefield will end here. When night is about to fall, I'll bring everyone in the Starry Night back to the Blazing Sun territory. We'll enter the final battlefield again tomorrow morning. There should be some lords among you who haven't used insight defection yet. You can also return to the Blazing Sun territory now and find an enemy to use it on. In the Starry Night, you won't be interrupted when you return to your territory. Zhou Zhou looked at everyone. Everyone nodded in agreement with Zhou Zhou's decision. In this environment, it was indeed impossible to continue fighting. When they thought about using insight defection on the enemies near their territory after returning, they suddenly looked forward to it. Among the lords, most of them had a long-standing grudge with the enemy forces around their territory. When they returned, they would use insight defection to give them a surprise. After that, Zhou Zhou chatted with the Lord members for more than half an hour about the development of the Star Alliance and the next arrangements for the final battlefield. He also temporarily established the Alliance Supervisory Council and established some specific positions within the Alliance. After temporarily resolving these problems, this temporary meeting finally ended. The Lords did not waste any time and left the final battlefield one after another. They returned to their territories in reality to deal with matters or use insight defection. Soon, in the huge conference room, only Zhou Zhou, Bai Yun, Wu Xian, Feng Luo, Wu Tu, Xiao Xian, and the others were left. My lord, this is the list of today's spoils of war. Bai Yun handed a list of loots to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou took it and looked at it. Today, they had conquered a total of 25 Scarlet Lord territories and 17 Lord strongholds. A total of more than 1.17 million fog monsters and more than 510,000 people of foreign races were eliminated. With the enhancement of the King of Loots and the title of the Strongest Lord, there were a total 5 green bronze tier territory tokens, 4 white silver tier territory tokens, 12 yellow gold tier territory tokens, 3 white platinum tier territory tokens, 9,526 extraordinary tier mist cores, 249,635 diamond tier mist cores, 507,893 white platinum tier mist cores, 3,508,210 yellow gold tier mist cores, 5,123,360 white silver tier mist cores, and 1163 green bronze tier mist cores. 2,210 origin crystals. There were 3,801,423 skill books and 4,017,790 pieces of equipment. More than 10,530 million units of basic materials. 743,320 true faith tier scarlet crystals. 451,780 pious tier scarlet crystals, and 183,360 fanatic tier scarlet crystals, 215 alchemy pharmacist recruitment books, 182 alchemy technician recruitment books, 451 mount contracts, 36 empire level combat class army extermination knight class certificates, 54 kingdom level soldier type class barbaric blood knights, 180 knight type class soldier types, 312 green bronze tier lord talent crystal fragments. Apart from the above loots, in this trip to the final battlefield, a total of 457,776 people had broken through. Among them, 132,671 people were promoted to Black Iron Tier Intermediate Grade and Black Iron Tier Advanced Grade. 181,293 people advanced from Black Iron Tier to Green Bronze Tier. 82,360 people advanced to the White Silver Tier. 41,301 people advanced to Yellow Gold Tier. 20,130 people had broken through to the White Platinum Tier. 1,021 people had broken through to Diamond Tier. In addition, Nazario had broken through to White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade. Bai Yun had broken through to Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. Soul Reaper Maris had broken through to White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade. Spectral Dragon Auguste had broken through to the White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade. He now had 514,420 soldiers from the Blazing Sun Army and the Monster Army. As for the Lords, 10% of the soldiers who had instigated the insight defection today would join them tonight. Of these 514,420 soldiers, There were 23,880 black iron tier soldiers. There were 225,035 green bronze tier soldiers, 112,825 of white silver tier, 119,240 of yellow gold tier, 32,292 of white platinum tier, 1,142 of diamond tier, 6 extraordinary tier. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction after looking at the gains. Not to mention anything else. Just the fact that there were more than 1,000 diamond tier soldiers was already beyond his expectations. To others, the final battlefield was a bloody meat grinder, but to Zhou Zhou, it was simply a top-grade training ground. Not to mention that he had obtained so many territory tokens this time. With these territory tokens, it would probably be enough to upgrade the Blazing Sun territory to a white platinum tier elementary grade territory. As for the kingdom level soldier type class, Aurora Knight class change certificate, Zhou Zhou took a look and realized that it was the Aurora Kingdom soldier type. This kind of soldier type used their own Aurora Kingdom energy to engage in close combat. It had the feeling of dual cultivation. Perhaps in terms of long-range attacks, it was inferior to the Violent Storm Spirit. However, in terms of dominance on the battlefield, it was second only to the Empire-level combat class, the Army Extermination Knight. Then, he took out the green bronze tier Lord Talent Sphere he had obtained today. A text notification appeared. Do you want to absorb this Lord Talent Sphere, green bronze tier?
Yes.
Zhou Zhou said. The next second, this green bronze tier Lord Talent Sphere immediately turned into countless green bronze tier colored light spots and surged into his glabella. Zhou Zhou closed his eyes. A moment later, he reopened his eyes again after some time. Then, he immediately opened his Lord's personal information. In his Lord Talent column, there was already the 17th Lord Talent, Scavenger. He immediately opened the details of the talent. Lord Talent, Scavenger, green bronze tier, Scavenger. After a long period of scavenging, you have an almost innate sensitivity to the treasures within 1,000 meters of you. You can acutely sense the location of the treasures. At the same time, if the treasures you collected have characteristics such as time limit or endurance, they can be used twice as long. When you extract the spoils of war from the corpses, the drop rate will increase by an additional 5%. This Lord Talent. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. This talent is interesting. Zhou Zhou looked at the talent of the scavenger thoughtfully. To Zhou Zhou, the first two effects were the most useful. The first was to be able to sense the existence of treasures within 1,000 meters and know the exact location of the treasures. The second was to extend the usage of the treasure by 2 times. To other lords, the first talent effect might be the best. If Zhou Zhou had obtained this talent when he first came to the High Continent, he would definitely think that the first talent's effect was top-notch. However, to the current Zhou Zhou, who had the King of Loots, he actually did not lack treasures. Therefore, he did not have much feelings for the first talent effect. As for the second talent effect, extending the usage of the treasure by 2 times, he felt that it was a little extreme. He had a feeling that in the future, this talent effect might produce an astonishing effect on a certain treasure at a certain point in time. As for the third effect, which increased the drop rate by 5%, it was naturally the most useless to Zhou Zhou. His drop rate had long been fixed at 100%. There was no difference between 100% and 105% effect. Then, Zhou Zhou closed the Lord Talent interface. Even though the effect of this Lord Talent was not bad, it was only a green bronze tier Lord Talent after all, so Zhou Zhou did not pay much attention to it. Then, he took out the yellow gold tier territory token he had obtained today and walked out of the Lord Manor. It was worth mentioning that although there were many fog monsters' territories on the final battlefield, Zhou Zhou did not obtain a regional token after dealing with so many fog monsters' territorial forces today. In addition, he had seen no vassal relationship between the extraordinary tier and epic tier territories of the fog monsters, nor had he seen a monster kingdom formed by fog monsters. This allowed Zhou Zhou to make an educated guess in his heart. It was likely that only their respective territories existed in the fog monster faction on the final battlefield. As for regional territories, or even kingdom-level territories, They probably did not exist in the special land of the final battlefield. One of the basic conditions for establishing a kingdom was to have 30 regional territories, and at least one of them had to be extraordinary tier. There were no regional territories in the final battlefield, let alone establishing a kingdom. The final battlefield is really special. Zhou Zhou lamented. He could sense that there might be a huge secret on that battlefield. However, this secret was probably not something that he could come into contact with now. He stopped thinking and looked at the Lord Manor in front of him. A line of text appeared. "Do you want to upgrade the Lord Manor?"
Yes.
He said. The next second, 20 million units of basic materials, 500 yellow gold tier mist cores, 200 origin crystals, and 2 yellow gold tier territory tokens disappeared. Boom. A golden light immediately covered the entire Lord Manor. A moment later, the golden light dissipated. The obviously expanded Lord Manor appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord Manor has been upgraded to a yellow gold tier advanced grade building. An additional gym has been added. Your territory has been upgraded to yellow gold tier advanced grade territory. Territory stone steel endurance increased to 5 million/5 million. Your territory has expanded to 400 kilometers times 400 kilometers times 20,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received an upgrade reward, basic construction blueprint treasure chest, yellow gold tier advanced grade. Lord talent notification. The upper limit of the enemy lord's power that you can use insight defection on has been increased to epic tier intermediate grade. Lord talent hint. Hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Lord talent hint. Your mysterious caravan faction has increased. Lord talent hint. The strength of the clergy in your goddess of life's shelter has increased. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. He had finally reached the yellow gold tier advanced grade. Previously, because he wanted to preserve the cities in the Taiyan Kingdom's territory, he had never taken away the territorial tokens in those cities. This gave the subjects of Blazing Sun City more places to choose to live. Furthermore, Blazing Sun City was no longer as crowded as before. However, this also made the upgrading of his territory stagnate. Originally, he had thought of conquering ownerless scarlet territories that were not under the jurisdiction of the kingdom to obtain territory tokens to upgrade the territory. Unexpectedly, his trip to the final battlefield had solved his problem. Even though it was a little different from what he had expected, he did not care. It was fine as long as the problem was resolved. Then, he went to the gym. The gym in the Lord Manor was not much different from the gym on the Cerulean planet. They were all equipment and places used for fitness. However, there were two differences. The first place was that this gym was very large. It occupied a huge square area of 5 km * 5 km * 5 km in the Lord Manor. Moreover, it was 12 stories high. If Zhou Zhou opened this place, it would not be a problem to accommodate 100,000 people here. The second difference was that in addition to normal aerobic equipment, there were also swimming areas, yoga areas, eating areas, ear extraction and foot therapy areas, entertainment areas, fitness education areas. This was actually quite normal. Most importantly, apart from these areas, Zhou Zhou also saw the martial arts area that was specially used to practice martial arts, the soldier training area that was specially used to train the soldiers' offensive and defensive abilities, and the final battle hall that was specially used for personal combat or even military battles. After reading it, Zhou Zhou was enlightened. Then, he looked at the upgrade requirements for the next level. Construction upgrade, 10 million units of wood, 10 million units of fine sand, 10 million units of metal, 10 million units of stone, 1,000 yellow gold tier mist core, 500 origin crystals, and 3 yellow gold tier territory tokens. After Zhou Zhou finished reading and realized that he had all these materials, he continued to upgrade without hesitation. Boom. 40 million units of basic materials, 1,000 yellow gold tier mist cores, 500 origin crystals, and 3 yellow gold tier territory tokens disappeared. A golden light that was several times brighter than the newly upgraded territory immediately covered the entire Lord Manor. A moment later, The golden light dissipated. The obviously expanded Lord Manor appeared in front of Zhou Zhou. Rows of golden text notifications appeared. Congratulations, your Lord Manor has successfully been upgraded to a white platinum tier elementary grade building. It has been upgraded to an beginner grade Lord's Paradise. Your Lord's Paradise has a new white platinum tier elementary grade array. Your territory has been successfully upgraded to a white platinum tier elementary grade territory. Territory stone steel endurance increased to 10 million/10 million. Your territory has expanded to 1000 km times 1000 km times 20,000 m. All fog monsters within the territory of the new territory have been expelled. Scarlet fog will not appear in any of your territories. You have received an upgrade reward, basic construction blueprint treasure chest, white platinum tier elementary grade. Lord talent notification. The upper limit of the enemy lord's power that you can use insight defection on has been increased to epic tier advanced grade. Lord talent hint. Your monster ranches can be upgraded. Lord talent hint. Your mysterious caravan faction has increased. Lord talent hint. The strength of the clergy in your goddess of life's shelter has increased. The notification was not over yet. Soon, the notification that Zhou Zhou was expecting sounded. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun on becoming the first Lord to upgrade his territory to the white silver tier elementary grade. Reward, Supreme Treasure Chest +1, Reputation Rating +1, Race Unique Title. Glory of the Pioneer 3 has advanced to Glory of the Pioneer 4. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. Cerulean Planet World Channel announcement. Congratulations to the Lord of the Blazing Sun. I've finally upgraded to white platinum tier elementary grade and obtained the glory of the Pioneer 4. Fortunately, I made it in time. Zhou Zhou heaved a sigh of relief when he saw that he had finally obtained the title. Previously, he was a little worried that this title would be snatched away by others because the leveling speed of his territory had slowed down. Fortunately, it was probably because of the gap between him and the other lords in the early stages that he was not surpassed by the other lords of the Cerulean planet during this period of time and kept the title that he had been longing for. Then, he looked at the Lord's Paradise in front of him. This building was 4 to 5 times larger than the Lord Manor. Its overall architectural style had not changed. It was still a dignified, luxurious, and heavy architectural style. However, it was very different from the previous Lord Manor. That was the density of elemental energy. Zhou Zhou stood outside the door and took a deep breath. He could smell a large amount of fresh energy being absorbed into his body. It made his spirit jolt, and his body relaxed a lot. However, that was not the most important thing. Most importantly, he even felt that in addition to the various elemental energies he had absorbed just now, there was also abundant promotion energy. There was actually promotion energy in this beginner-grade Lord's Paradise? Wouldn't that mean that he could naturally increase his strength by staying here every day even if he didn't do anything? As Zhou Zhou thought about this, he could not help but absorb the promotion energy here. He even circulated the Violet Cloud Divine technique in his body to accelerate the efficiency of absorbing this energy. A moment later, Zhou Zhou shuddered. Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. His strength was originally just a little bit away from the Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. Now that he had absorbed the promotion energy, it actually allowed him to break through the barrier of his realm and break through to the Yellow Gold Tier Advanced Grade. As expected of a beginner-grade Lord's Paradise. I didn't level up in vain. Zhou Zhou felt the astonishing energy circulating in his body and could not help but smile. He did not immediately look at the rewards for upgrading his territory. Instead, he skillfully opened the World Channel. As expected, most of the lords on the World Channel were talking passionately about how he had once again upgraded their territories ahead of all the lords on the Cerulean planet and gotten the first place again. However, unlike before, there were more members of the Star Alliance in the discussion this time. Our Alliance Lord is the greatest of all time. Our Star Alliance is the best. I knew that no one could compete with you for this title. Other lords, please do your best. Are we just going to watch the Lord of the Blazing Sun steal the limelight every time? Awesome. Exciting? Do you think I don't want to? I can't do anything even if I want to. Spiritual medicine lord. Big brother is amazing. Military industry lord. I just leveled up to yellow gold tier elementary grade territory. I'm impressed. Why is the difference so big? Military industry lord. Don't be discouraged. Big boss Blazing Sun has always been in the lead and has long relied on this to obtain countless benefits. Now, he has already widened the gap between him and the other lords. So it's not embarrassing that you can't catch up to Big Boss Blazing Sunday. Having a yellow gold tier elementary grade territory is already very strong. Military industry lord. One step ahead, many steps ahead. I can be considered to have experienced it deeply now. Impressive, impressive. Congratulations to Big Boss Blazing Sun for winning the glory of the Pioneer 4 again. Green Phoenix Lord. Congratulations, Alliance Master, for obtaining the glory of the Pioneer 4 again. Paper Immortal Lord. Lord Alliance Master is so fierce. Fertile Landlord. As a member of the Star Alliance, I have to say that I'm honored even though it was our Alliance Master who took down the announcement. Awesome. Gold Merchant Lord. Welcome, Lords, to the Star Alliance's business collaboration. Let's get rich together. I'm envious. I want to join the Star Alliance too. Boo-hoo. Zhou Zhou's eyesight was excellent. He could easily find the members of the Star Alliance among the lords who spoke. It had to be said. This feeling of having his own people waving flags and supporting his back was quite comfortable. Compared to when he was on the entire channel's Lord announcement and only Linger was cheering for him on the entire World channel, he felt much better. He glanced at the Star Alliance's chat group. These alliance members were also excitedly discussing the matter of their territory upgrading to White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade and entering the Lord announcement. Some of the bolder lords even tagged themselves. Zhou Zhou smiled and said, "Good luck, everyone. Let's work hard to upgrade our territory." He did not say anything else. Then, he began to check the benefits of this upgrade. The first was Glory of the Pioneer 4. Title name, Glory of the Pioneer 4. Title quality, unique title of the race. Title effect 1. You are famous among the Cerulean planet lords. More people admire your reputation and yearn to join your territory. The number of subjects you can summon through the gate of summoning every day plus 100%. Professional talents of the same level as the territory among the subjects summoned plus 2. Title effect 2. Your unique title suffix will be added behind your lord title when you speak in any channel. You can take the initiative to turn it off or activate it. Title effect 3. When you become the first lord of Cerulean planet to have a diamond tier elementary grade territory, this title will be upgraded to Glory of the Pioneer V and unlock more title effects. Title description. The Supreme Will is the exclusive title given to the pioneer among the lords. Every pioneer of every race has a higher chance of achieving extraordinary achievements. Zhou Zhou nodded slightly. He was not too excited. Unlike before, even though he was not lacking soldiers in his territory, he lacked professional subjects and lifestyle professional subjects. Therefore, every time the glory of the pioneer leveled up, its buff to the gate of summoning would make him very excited. However, now that he had the white silver tier lord talent, Embrace of the Conqueror, every time he conquered a territory, new non-professional subjects or even professional subjects would join his territory. Under normal circumstances, thousands of non-professional subjects or professional subjects would join his territory every day. Therefore, his needs in terms of population were no longer as urgent as before. However, Zhou Zhou was still very satisfied with the reward of +5 for class talents of the same level in the territory. His territory level was now Green Bronze Tier Elementary Grade, which meant, in the future, he would not need to do anything and the number of professional subjects below White Platinum Tier would increase by 5 every day. In the beginning, the talents attracted by his reputation rating were only around the White Platinum Tier. This was almost comparable to the addition of 5 talents with reputation rating. Thinking of this, Zhou Zhou was even more satisfied. The title of the Glory of the Pioneer was displaying more and more astonishing effects as its grade continued to increase. He had to be the first to win the next Glory of the Pioneer V. There will be another reputation rating talent joining my territory tomorrow. I wonder what kind of reputation rating talent he would be. Zhou Zhou was filled with anticipation. Then, Zhou Zhou opened the supreme treasure chest. Inside the treasure chest was a small golden bottle, and inside the bottle was a familiar golden elixir. Isn't this the Calamity Crossing pill? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. The last time he obtained this Calamity Crossing pill, it directly raised his Nazario's strength to the yellow gold tier advanced grade. He still remembered this clearly. He did not expect to get another one this time. However, when he saw the specific effect of this Calamity Crossing spirit pill, he realized that this Calamity Crossing spirit pill was actually a little different from the one he had obtained previously. Treasure name: Calamity Crossing Spirit Pill, Lord Only Edition. Treasure grade: Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Treasure Effect 1. After the Lord of all races absorbs it, his strength will immediately reach the level of White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade. Treasure Effect 2. After the Lord of all races consumes this pill, the promotion energy needed to increase his strength will be reduced by 90%. This effect will last until the Lord's strength reaches Diamond Tier Advanced Grade. Treasure Description: a cultivation medicinal pill created by the immortal Tao civilization's true immortal Calamity Crossing. It has the advantage of greatly increasing one's strength realm by forcefully raising it to a specific realm without leaving any future cultivation problems. It is a pill that is exclusive to the Lord to be consumed. A Calamity Crossing spirit pill exclusive to the Lord of all races? Zhou Zhou was a little surprised. A smile then appeared on his face. While he hoped to obtain pills that could increase the strength of his subordinates, as a lord, he rarely appeared on the battlefield. Strength was very important to him, but it was not to the extent that he urgently needed to increase his strength. Nonetheless, no matter what, it was always a good thing to be able to increase his strength. Not to mention that not only would his strength increase to White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade, the promotion energy needed to increase his strength would also become 10% after consuming it. This meant that his path from White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade to Diamond Tier Advanced Grade would become a smooth one. Good stuff. Zhou Zhou did not hesitate. He took out the stopper and took out the Calamity Crossing Spirit Pill, Lord's Only Edition, before consuming it. Rumble. After Zhou Zhou swallowed this Calamity Crossing pill, Lord's Only Edition, he felt the pill melt in his mouth. It carried a bitter taste and instantly turned into majestic, gentle energy that surged towards his heart. Then, this majestic promotion energy circulated through his heart and surged into his limbs, bones, and soul, crazily increasing the strength of his physical body and soul. As a lord, Zhou Zhou needed a huge amount of promotional energy to advance his realm. Coupled with his chaos human physique and the various race talents and bloodline abilities he had grasped, his need for promotion energy had reached an incomparably shocking level. It could be said that, among all the lords of Cerulean Planet, Zhou Zhou's demand for energy for advancement was the greatest. It could even be more than 10 times greater than the second place. However, even though he needed so much promotional energy, it seemed to be insignificant in front of this magical Calamity Crossing Spirit Pill. No matter how much promotion energy Zhou Zhou needed, this pill could be supplied continuously. It did not look weak at all. Under such circumstances, Zhou Zhou's strength and realm began to increase rapidly. White Platinum Tier Elementary Grade. White Platinum Tier Intermediate Grade. White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade. At this moment, the Calamity Crossing Pill, Lord-only version, was still providing promotion energy crazily. It only stopped when he was only 10% away from breaking through to the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou Zhou slowly opened his eyes. A chaotic light flashed in the depths of his eyes before disappearing. Soon, he sensed the pressure emanating from his body and the Dragon Slayer King's will. However, he retracted all of them with a thought, making him look like an extremely handsome ordinary man. How magical! My strength has clearly advanced by leaps and bounds to this extent, but I feel that I can completely control the promotion energy in my body, just like an old man who has been stuck at the White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade for decades or even hundreds of years. Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue in wonder. The treasures that came out of the supreme treasure chest had never disappointed him. Then, he sensed the promotional energy in his body and a strange expression appeared on his face. So this is how it reduces the energy of advancement by 90%. In that case, before my strength increases to Diamond Tier Advanced Grade in the future, after I break through every small realm, I will be given 90% of the promotion energy of my original strength realm. Then, I only need to gather the remaining 10% of the promotion energy to increase my strength. Not bad. It's simple and crude. I like it. Zhou Zhou was satisfied. Then, he temporarily did not look at the other rewards. Instead, he took out a skill book of various levels that he had prepared long ago from his spatial ring. Then, he took out a white platinum tier advanced grade skill book and replaced all the gold intermediate grade skills in his skill list with white platinum tier advanced grade skills. Looking at his updated skill list, Zhou Zhou smiled. He felt that he had more confidence in surviving in this world. White platinum tier advanced grade. Hundreds of white platinum tier advanced grade skills. Now, he could be considered a low-level expert in this world. Then, he began to look at the information of the new building, Elemental Spirit Array. He realized that it was indeed as he had felt. It could provide a blessed land-level cultivation environment for a lord who lived in a beginner-grade lord's paradise. In the Essence Spirit Array, not only could it provide various elemental energy to a lord, but it could also provide life force, spiritual energy, soul energy, and promotion energy. In such an environment, a lord could greatly increase the strength of his body and soul, and finally reach the goal of increasing his strength. It seems that after the lord's territory developed to the white platinum tier level, the Supreme will begin to pay attention to the increase in the lord's personal strength. Many thoughts flashed through Zhou Zhou's mind. Then, he did not think too much about it, and looked at the requirements for the territory to continue leveling up. Construction upgrade, 100 million units of wood, 100 million units of fine sand, 100 million units of metal, 100 million units of stone, 100 white platinum tier mist core, 1,000 origin crystals, 10,000 units of basic elemental gems, 1,000 advanced elemental gems, 1 white platinum tier city, 10 white platinum tier lifestyle professionals, 100 white platinum tier military professionals, 1 white platinum tier territory token. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. When the territory level reached the white platinum tier, there were actually so many requirements to level up. Not only did he need basic materials, origin crystals, mist core, and territory tokens, they even needed high-level elemental gems. They also had requirements for the number of lifestyle professionals and military professionals. Zhou Zhou thought about it and realized that his other requirements could be met, especially in terms of basic elemental gems. He had just obtained a medium-sized basic elemental gem mine that contained 5 million units today. It had already been placed in the territory for A2 to lead its Ox Demon subjects and other Blazing Sun City subjects to mine. He should not be lacking in basic elemental gems for a long time, which meant he only had high-level elemental gems now and could not meet the leveling requirements for the time being. There were 3 types of high-level elemental gems. They were Thunder Element Gems, Life Element Gems, and Death Element Gems. He did not have to worry about the Thunder Element Gems. This was because the violent storm demon spirit in his monster ranch could produce more than 10,000 Thunder Element Gems every day. However, Zhou Zhou had never come into contact with the Life Elemental Gem and the Death Elemental Gem. Zhou Zhou scratched his head. He originally thought that since his strength had increased so much and he had so many high-level territory tokens, it should be a simple matter to increase the level of his territory. He did not expect twists and turns again. It seems that as the territory level increases, the materials and requirements needed to upgrade the territory have also increased. Zhou Zhou frowned. There were suddenly so many upgrade requirements for the white platinum tier territory. It would probably start asking for Divine Kingdom tier upgrade materials when he reached the Epic tier, Legendary tier, or even the Divine Kingdom level. It seemed that he had to pay more attention to high-level materials in the future and prepare for the upgrade of his territory in the future. Then, he thought for a moment and opened the marketplace to set up a transaction to buy Life Elemental Gems and Death Elemental Gems. Now, It was time to see if the lords of the cerulean planet could give him some surprises. There were lords all over the cerulean planet. Perhaps some lucky lords would be able to encounter high-level elemental gems. In addition, it was already late, and it was not convenient for him to go out. Tomorrow, he could go to the Aurora Kingdom again and ask King Li Yuangon if he had any life elemental gems and death elemental gems. Even though the huge Aurora Kingdom was on the verge of destruction, there should be a high chance of obtaining some high-level elemental gems. After that, he came to the Gate of Summoning and spent 6 million units of basic materials and 6,000 yellow gold tier mist cores to upgrade it to the white platinum tier elementary grade. Congratulations, your Gate of Summoning has successfully been upgraded to a white platinum tier elementary grade building. You can summon plus 100 subjects every day. You will summon 50 professionals from the subjects every day. Prompt. Under the influence of the unique title of the race, Glory of the Pioneer V, you can summon 1,425 subjects every day. You will summon 55 professionals every day. Moreover, 5 of the professionals will have the same level as your territory. Zhou Zhou nodded in satisfaction. The number of subjects that the Gate of Summoning could summon was also becoming more and more exaggerated under the enhancement of Glory of the Pioneer V. He was getting more and more satisfied with the benefits of being the #1 lord of the cerulean planet. After that, he returned to the side of the beginner-grade Lord's Paradise and walked to the Lord's shop. At this moment, Zhou Qingmin was knitting a sweater with a smile on his face, as if he was looking forward to what the sweater would look like after it was knitted. Old Zhou, have my merchandise arrived? Zhou Zhou asked. Zhou Qingmin was stunned for a moment before he came back to his senses. Yes, they're here. He put down his sweater with a smile and stood up. He went to the counter and took out a jade box from under the counter. Then, he opened the box. Inside was a purple crystal that contained his talent. My lord, what do you think? Old Zhou asked. Zhou Zhou did not say anything. He picked up the purple crystal and looked at the item information. It was Xiao Xian's talent crystal, danger prediction. Talent, danger prediction? Talent effect. This creature has a certain chance of sensing danger before it descends and avoiding disaster. Zhou Zhou looked at the talent crystal and his heart burned. The effect of this talent could be said to be vividly displayed by Xiao Xian in today's final battlefield. It could be said that, with this talent, as long as Zhou Zhou did not take the initiative to court death, it would be very difficult for him to encounter any danger. Even if danger suddenly appeared, he could use danger prediction to obtain a certain preemptive reaction time. Zhou Zhou was not very interested in enhancement products, but he really liked such life-saving products from the bottom of his heart. How much? Zhou Zhou asked. 10 legendary tier mist cores and a low-tier deity level territory token. Of course, my lord can also give me 20 legendary tier mist cores directly. Old Zhou smiled. A pained expression flashed across Zhou Zhou's face. It was a good talent, but it was really expensive. Can it be cheaper? Zhou Zhou could not help but ask. No. Old Zhou shook his head without hesitation. Zhou Qinglin changed the topic just as he was feeling a little disappointed. However, discount cards might appear amongst the products that appear in the Lord's shop in the future. If the Lord is lucky enough to encounter a discount card, he can buy it. At that time, if he encounters expensive products, he can buy them at a lower price. Discount card? Was it similar to the specified subject commodity card? Zhou Zhou thought. He nodded and took out 20 legendary tier mist cores from the Heavenly Mist treasure bag and handed them to the other party. Then, after bidding farewell to Zhou Qingmin, he returned to his beginner-grade Lord's Paradise. On the way, Zhou Zhou could not help but feel his heart ache. That was a total of 20 legendary tier mist cores. Even top-notch lords with the heritage of their race might not have 20 legendary tier mist cores at this stage. What more the current lords of the cerulean planet? He had spent it just like that. It might be worth it, but Zhou Zhou could still feel the pain. I have to find other ways to make up for it, Zhou Zhou thought. Then, he opened the marketplace and set up a transaction. He took 3 million skill books and another 3 million equipment from his gains in the final battlefield today and threw them onto the market. His territory and the Star Alliance could not digest these skill books and equipment for the time being. In that case, he might as well throw them into the marketplace to prepare the funds for the goods in the Lord's shop tomorrow. After some thought, he called over a starry night and boarded it. "Welcome, my lord," Wanya said respectfully as soon as Zhou Zhou boarded the ship. "Wanya, do you remember what I told you before about mass-producing the spacecraft?" Zhou Zhou went straight to the point. "I remember. Wanya has already started working on it." Wanya immediately replied. "How's it going?" "Wanya has already discussed with Vice City Lord Zhang. We will begin to purchase the materials to build the spaceship factory at the marketplace through Linger and Nongqinglin. After the material acquisition is completed, Wanya can build the spaceship factory immediately and start mass-producing Starry Night or Black Ghost." Zhou Zhou nodded. He was looking forward to it. With a large number of Starry Nights, Blazing Sun Territory's military, life, business, and other developments would definitely be improved by leaps and bounds. In the warehouse are the remains of the Chaos Energy airdrop gun carriage and modern firearms from our cerulean planet. You have to do research at the same time and strive to let Blazing Sun Territory create it alone as soon as possible. Zhou Zhou said. He had come to look for Wanya to discuss this matter. Starry Night had the function of an extraordinary tier advanced grade research institute. Generally speaking, Starry Night could replicate technology below the extraordinary tier advanced grade through research. "Yes, my lord," Wanya said respectfully. Zhou Zhou nodded and chatted with Wanya for a while before flying off the spaceship. Beginner Grade Lord's Paradise. At this moment, Zhou Zhou was cultivating Violet Cloud True Gust in the martial arts area of the gym. This moment, Aliyah hurried over. "Reporting to my lord. The deputy commander of the Starfire mercenary team, Zhang Lansheng, requests an audience. They said that they have information about the Aurora Kingdom and the Tang Kingdom to report." Aliyah said respectfully. "Let him enter." Zhou Zhou said calmly as he focused on circulating the Violet Cloud True Gust in his body. "Yes, my lord." Aliyah nodded, then turned and left. Zhou Zhou circulated the Violet Cloud True Gust in his body. The promotional energy gathered by the Essence Spirit Array around him continuously surged into his body, causing his strength and realm to begin to increase at a visible speed. Previously, Zhou Zhou had not felt it clearly because he had leveled up his territory outside the beginner grade Lord's Paradise. Now that he had returned to the martial arts area that was specially used for martial arts cultivation in this blessed land, he immediately realized that this seemed to be the place with the richest promotion energy in the Origin Spirit Array. At the very least, he had felt 10 times or more of the advancement energy outside the beginner grade Lord's Paradise. Originally, with the help of the Calamity Crossing Pill, Lord Exclusive version, he was only a step away from Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. Coupled with the blessing of the War God and the shocking enhancement of this Essence Spirit Array, he felt that he would probably be able to break through to Diamond Tier Elementary Grade tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. At the thought of this, Zhou Zhou felt a little strange. He had experienced the pain of his lord's strength increasing slowly too many times. This was the first time his strength had increased so quickly. He felt that it was unreal. However, he knew that this was normal, so he naturally wouldn't really worry. At this moment, Zhang Lansheng was led to Zhou Zhou by Aliyah. "Greetings, my lord," Zhang Lansheng said respectfully. He looked at Zhou Zhou and was secretly shocked. At this moment, Zhou Zhou's entire body was covered in a dense purple mist. In the mist, Zhou Zhou's immortal-like face could be vaguely seen, as if his lord was an immortal from the sky. Unknowingly, Zhang Lansheng was subconsciously impressed by this scene. The more he thought about it, the more he felt that the lord he followed was the most worthy person in the world. Compared to his lord, the other lords he had seen were simply a troll. "How's the situation in the Aurora Kingdom and the Tang Kingdom?" Zhou Zhou opened his eyes and asked. "Reporting to my lord. According to our investigation, ever since the king of the Aurora Kingdom, Li Yuangon, secretly spread the news that the Aurora Kingdom was attacked by the Tang Kingdom to the Netherbark Kingdom and the Titan Kingdom, the Titan Kingdom immediately launched an attack on the Tang Kingdom. The Titan Kingdom's army has already invaded the territory of the Taiyan Kingdom and has begun to fight the 600,000 monster army that the Taiyan Kingdom has returned to defend. Now, the Taiyan Kingdom only has 800,000 soldiers left in the Aurora Kingdom. Even though this still gives the Aurora Kingdom a lot of pressure, compared to before, the pressure has been greatly reduced. Zhang Lanqing said, "What about the Netherbark Kingdom?" Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. In the Netherbark Kingdom, the new and old popes are currently being replaced. For this reason, they are currently preparing for the god's bestowment ceremony in the country, so all battle activities have temporarily stopped. Even though some cardinals wanted to postpone the god-bestowing ceremony and prioritize dealing with the Taiyan Kingdom after they learned of the Taiyan Kingdom's attack, this opinion was not approved by the other cardinals. In the end, they still insisted on continuing the god-bestowing ceremony. Zhang Lanqing was obviously prepared for this information. After hearing Zhou Zhou's question, he answered without hesitation. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. This was different from what he had expected. But fortunately, they didn't deploy all the Taiyan Kingdom soldiers back to the Aurora Kingdom even though it was different from what he expected. That also relieved the pressure of the Aurora Kingdom's war. It shouldn't be a problem to hold on for another day or two. Moreover, Zhou Zhou was deep in thought. There were only 800,000 Taiyan soldiers left in the Aurora Kingdom. With his current military strength, he might be able to give the Aurora Kingdom a try. He thought for a while, and then looked at Zhang Lanqing. "Well done. How many members do you have in the Starfire mercenary team now? What's your current range of operations?" Zhou Zhou asked. "Reporting to my lord. Currently, the Starfire mercenary team has already developed to the size of more than 4,000 people. We have also developed some of the territory of the Underworld Bark Kingdom apart from the Aurora Kingdom's territory. As for the Taiyan Kingdom and the Titan Kingdom, due to the extreme aggro of the subjects in their territory, we have temporarily set up some relatively remote adventurer team bases in these two kingdoms. We have also arranged for about 500 people to secretly investigate the information in their countries. As for the further areas, we only heard that there is a flame spirit kingdom east of the Netherbark Kingdom. It's said that that place is ruled by the volcanic elves. We haven't sent any adventurer team members there to establish a base and investigate the local information due to the distance and the harsh environment." Zhang Lanqing said respectfully. Zhou Zhou acknowledged. He hadn't bothered about the Starfire mercenary team for a long time. He was already very satisfied with such results. It's developing well. However, we still have to work harder and achieve more results. Our territory is developing very quickly, so we need more information to pave our future development path in time to prevent us from taking the wrong path in the future. In this regard, the Heavenly Army and the Starfire mercenary team must bear this responsibility. Before you leave later, you can go to Vice City Lordjing and apply for 5,000 copies of the Violent Storm Spirit Class Change Certificate and 10,000 White Platinum Tier Mist Cores. These are the rewards for your development during this period of time, as well as the development funds for the Starfire mercenary team in the future. I want you to expand the Starfire mercenary team to 50,000 members as soon as possible within a month. If you need the support of Class Change Certificate, funds, equipment, manpower, experts, and other aspects, you can apply to Vice City Lordjing with your contributions. As long as you continuously produce results, the territory will be able to provide unlimited support for the development needs of your Starfire mercenary team. Zhou Zhou said, "Yes, my lord. Our Starfire mercenary team will not disappoint you, my lord." When Zhang Lanqing heard Zhou Zhou's words, he was instantly excited. 5,000 Violent Storm Spirit Class Change Certificates, 10,000 White Platinum Tier Mist Cores. With so many Kingdom-level Class Change Certificates and funds, the Starfire mercenary team was confident that they could become the #1 adventurer team in the Aurora Kingdom in a short period of time. Not to mention the promise that the Lord said he could support infinitely. Unlimited support. Just by listening, Zhang Lanqing could tell that these words contained a rich and imposing aura. Towards this, Zhang Lanqing felt that it was great to have such a rich boss. After that, Zhou Zhou and Zhang Lanqing chatted more about the Starfire mercenary team before Zhang Lanqing bade farewell and left. Zhou Zhou did not continue cultivating the violet cloud true gust after he left. Instead, he called Aliyah and her sister over. Aliyah, Atli, Kalmu Gu, Zheng Fugui, and Carol Moali over. Zhou Zhou said, "Yes, my lord, X2." The two sisters respectfully accepted the order and turned to leave. A moment later, Mugu, Zheng Fugui, and Carol Moali were brought to Zhou Zhou. "Greetings, my lord, X3." The three of them said respectfully, "Tell me about your improvements." Zhou Zhou went straight to the point. The three of them looked at each other. Then, Mugu stood up and said respectfully, "Reporting to my lord, after my territory advanced to the white platinum tier elementary grade, my strength also increased to the white platinum tier elementary grade. My various skills also increased to the white platinum tier elementary grade. Moreover, the number of monster ranches that he could manage had already reached 13. The maximum capacity of each monster ranch has also increased from 3,500 to 5,000. The upper limit of the monsters that can be nurtured has also increased to the white platinum tier elementary grade." Zhou Zhou nodded. "Build the 2 monster ranches first. These 2 new monster ranches will be used to nurture the violent storm demon spirits before we manage to find a suitable cultivation target," he said. Zhou Zhou had also become picky since the appearance of a monster like the violent storm demon spirit that could drop kingdom-level combat class. This is also because Zhou Zhou had killed many fog monsters and seen thousands of spoils of war. He no longer cared about the drops of ordinary monsters. Only those fog monsters that could drop extremely valuable loots, or those that could drop kingdom level, or even higher soldier types could catch his eye. Therefore, during this period of time, most of his monster ranch was used to nurture the violent storm demon spirit without adding new fog monsters. Still, Zhou Zhou suddenly had a new idea with the establishment of the Star Alliance. With the spatial teleportation array that could connect the various main territories, he could order the members of the Alliance to hunt the fog monsters around their territory and send them to him. Then, he could obtain a large number of samples of monster loots. When the time comes, he could take advantage of it and use the monster ranches to nurture them. This was much more convenient than him trying his luck to choose monsters from the monster ranches alone. However, he did not do this immediately. Instead, he continued to listen to the reports of the 3 people in front of him. After Mu Gu finished his report, he automatically retreated. Then, Zheng Fugui stood up with a smile. "Reporting to my lord. The number of mysterious vendors in our mysterious caravan has now increased from 250 to 500. All the mysterious merchants' abilities have been upgraded to white platinum tier elementary grade. The number of our carriages has also increased from 150 to 300. In addition, each of us was given a mysterious business ring with a storage space of 10,000 cubic meters by the Supreme Will. It can be used to transport a large number of goods. This is the entire improvement of our mysterious caravan." Zhou Zhou clicked his tongue. It was personally bestowed by the Supreme Will. Who wouldn't be confused by this background? Furthermore, the advancement of the mysterious caravan was within his expectations. In the end, every mysterious merchant obtained a spatial ring that was 10,000 cubic meters. He was very envious. His Emperor of Sand's spatial ring was only 500 cubic meters. The storage volume of any mysterious merchant's mysterious merchant ring was 20 times the size of his spatial ring. At the thought of this, Zhou Zhou hesitated. Zheng Fugui looked at his lord's expression and smiled. Then, he suddenly sighed and said, "Sigh. It's a pity that only us mysterious merchant can use our mysterious business rings. Otherwise, we would definitely offer these rings to my lord. After all, my lord is in charge of the entire Blazing Sun territory. Only my lord can bring out the greatest effect of our mysterious business rings." With that, he even took the initiative to take off the mysterious business ring on his thumb. Zhou Zhou couldn't help but take a look. In the end, he realized that this mysterious business ring was like a big thumb ring. Its entire body was black and gold, emitting a faint black and gold light, highlighting the aura of a rich man. At the same time, the exclusive mysterious merchant, described in the information of the mysterious business ring, also made Zhou Zhou lose interest. Ahem. Since it's given to you by the supreme will, use it well. We still have enough power in our territory. Zhou Zhou cleared his throat. This old fellow. How did he know what he wanted to say at a glance? Zhang Fuguei smiled and nodded before retreating. Carol Moali walked to Zhou Zhou in a gorgeous red robe with white edges and a red high hat. Reporting to my lord. After our territory was upgraded to the white platinum tier elementary grade, the shelter of the goddess of life also upgraded to the white platinum tier elementary grade. We now have 50 clergymen, 50 priests, 100 nuns, and 100 life paladins in the shelter. In addition, the strength of all the clergymen has also increased to the white platinum tier elementary grade. And my strength has also increased from diamond tier intermediate grade to extraordinary tier elementary grade. Zhou Zhou's eyes lit up. The shelter of the goddess of life had received an astonishing improvement. There were a total of 5,000 white platinum tier professionals. Even if they did not do anything, just camping in the territory could make him confident enough to go out and fight without worrying about any accidents in the territory. Not to mention that Carol Moali had also advanced to extraordinary tier elementary grade. This not only greatly increased her strength. This also meant that if Zhou Zhou could obtain Holy Spirit-level Faith Divine Crystals in the future, he would be able to resurrect heroes who were extraordinary tier elementary grade when they were alive. Thinking of heroes, Zhou Zhou naturally still remembered that he had 2 hero inheritances that he had yet to use. One was the heroic inheritance of the Ghost God General. This inheritance was already placed in the military merit exchange system. If a soldier's military merit reached 100,000 points, they could directly exchange for it. The candidates should probably be out within a day or two. The second was an extraordinary tier heroic spirit inheritance slot at the Night Temple. Zhou Zhou already had a rough idea of the candidates for this spot. After that, he chatted with Mu Gu, Zhang Fuguei, and Carol Moali for a while before the 3 of them left. After the 3 of them left, Zhou Zhou opened the Star Alliance's chat group and posted that he wanted the corpses of various races and fog monsters near their territory. Lord of the Blazing Sun. All lords can come to Blazing Sun City to collect the golden corpse water used to preserve corpses. In addition, after the corpses of the various fog-like monsters found by the lords are sent to me, you can receive mist cores as a reward. Lord of the Blazing Sun. If the monster's corpse is more valuable to me, I will give you an additional reward. This was the first time the lords had received a quest from the Star Alliance. Furthermore, this quest was not difficult and there were rewards, so they did not resist and agreed readily. When Zhou Zhou saw this, the corners of his mouth curled up slightly. It was indeed much more convenient and efficient to have many lord subordinates helping him. At this moment, a notification came from the marketplace. It was because the deal he had announced earlier had been completed. Already? Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows in surprise. That was a total of 3 million skill books and 3 million pieces of equipment. How long had it been? All of them had already been sold? Zhou Zhou thought for a moment. The final battlefield must have given the lords of Cerulean Planet a sense of urgency, so they wanted to make the best use of their time to increase the strength of their territory. That was why all his goods were sold so quickly. He stopped thinking about it and opened the transaction results. Zhou Zhou's eyes widened. Trade result: 12,599,651,240 black iron tier mist cores. Zhou Zhou could not help but rub his eyes. He looked at it a few more times to confirm that it wasn't wrong. More than 12.5 billion black iron tier mist cores. It would be a total of 125 legendary tier mist cores if he were to transform all of them into legendary tier mist cores. Awesome! Zhou Zhou was elated. Great! He should have the financial resources to buy the goods in the Lord's shop in the next few days if nothing went wrong. At this moment, Aaliyah walked over again. My lord. Legion Commander Bai Yun and Vice City Lord Zhang Yuanqi request an audience. Let them in. Zhou Zhou came back to his senses and nodded.
Yes.
Aaliyah said respectfully, then turned around and left. Soon, Bai Yun and Zhang Yuanqi came to Zhou Zhou together. Greetings, my lord, X2. The 2 of them said respectfully and led the way. Now that Zhang Yuanqi had consumed the blood honey king cake, His appearance and condition had completely returned to their peak. Zhou Zhou realized that the other party's mental state was clearly different from before. He was like a wise man who had experienced the vicissitudes of life, but was filled with calmness and hope for the future. Reporting to my lord. I've already done my research on the city information of Green Phoenix City. This is the specific situation, my lord. Please take a look. After saying that, Zhang Yuanqi handed a document to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou took it and looked at it. A moment later, he frowned slightly. This document recorded the development of the Green Phoenix City. Just as the Green Phoenix Lord had told him before, her territory indeed only had 412 combat-type professionals, and there were only 32 life profession subjects. There were a lot of professional subjects, a total of 13,241. After Zhou Zhou finished reading, there was only one thought in his mind. Ridiculous. This Green Phoenix Lord really relied on his own strength to forcefully hold up the entire Green Phoenix City. With this strength, to put it bluntly, it was a little difficult to survive the Novice Lord test back then. However, it had actually existed until now. It could be seen how much effort the Green Phoenix Lord had put in to protect this village. Other than this information, Zhou Zhou also saw a message. In the northeast of the Green Phoenix Lord, there was actually an Empire-level Lord faction. This empire was called the Blood-Hidden Empire. It was actually an empire established by the vampires. It's actually an empire faction of vampires. Zhou Zhou raised his eyebrows. The bloodline that his chaos humans had absorbed still contained a vampire Viscount bloodline. If I have time in the future, I can make a trip to this vampire empire to improve my vampire bloodline and chaos human bloodline. Zhou Zhou thought. My lord, when I went to Green Phoenix City today, I discovered that some of the subjects in Green Phoenix City seem to be used to the protection of the Green Phoenix Lord and don't have much thoughts of working hard. How are we going to treat these subjects of Green Phoenix City? Zhang Yuanqi asked. Tell those subjects that our Blazing Sun territory doesn't raise idlers. Other than the old, weak, sick, and disabled subjects or families with only one strong man left. If the other Green Phoenix City subjects are willing to become combat-type professionals, we can provide them with class change certificates for combat-type classes below the kingdom level for free so that they can successfully become professionals. The other subjects who are unwilling to go to the battlefield can help the lifestyle professionals. They're in desperate need of help. Zhou Zhou said. It was impossible to raise idlers. This was not a peaceful era without war. Without the oppression of war, people could freely choose their own way of life. This high continent was filled with war. Danger was everywhere. Either you kill me or I kill you. Even Zhou Zhou was not sure if he could survive the next day. Therefore, when he protected the subjects of Green Phoenix City, he would naturally ask them to contribute to him. This was what he had told his first batch of subjects when he built Blazing Sun City. This was also the common rule of the lords in the high continent. No lord would raise an idler. No subject would think that this rule was wrong. After all, compared to work, it was better than losing his life on the battlefield. Furthermore, Zhou Zhou felt that his soldiers and subjects were already treated quite well. Especially the soldiers. Not only was there a military merit exchange system with rich rewards, furthermore, because of the military formation and the clergymen in the shelter, Zhou Zhou's soldiers had not had a death record for a long time. Even if the soldiers were injured on the battlefield, they could quickly be treated by potions, doctors, or clerics. And all the fees were provided free of charge by the territory. Coupled with the blessing of the war god, it could be said that, as his soldier, there was no danger at all. Going to the battlefield was to increase one's strength and obtain military merits. Zhou Zhou felt that the treatment of his soldiers could not be said to be the best among the endless lords in the high continent, but it should be one of the best. If the subjects of other countries knew about the treatment of the Blazing Sun territory soldiers, they would probably cry and beg to come. Yes, my lord, Zhang Yuanqi said calmly. Clearly, he also approved of Zhou Zhou's handling of the matter. Then, he chatted with Zhou Zhou for a while, more before turning around to leave. My lord, I've just led the soldiers to the Triumphal Arch. Moreover, the Lords of the Star Alliance have already brought over 20% of the soldiers after the Insight defection. I've already integrated them into the monster army, Bai Yun reported respectfully. Then, she took out 2 lists and handed them to Zhou Zhou. Zhou Zhou took it and read it. The first was about the results of the insight defection of the Lords of the Star Alliance. These 311 lords who had mastered insight defection, including Linger and Nong Qinglin, had brought back a total of 97,532 fog monsters for his insight defection. Moreover, more than 40,000 of the monster soldiers were 20% of the troops that the 30 to 40 lords had brought back from the insight defection on the final battlefield. The remaining 200 lords added up to only 50,000 monster soldiers who had insight defection. Zhou Zhou was not surprised by this number. The lord factions of these lord members were relatively weak after all. The strongest enemy factions they could come into contact with were mostly Black Iron Tier and Green Bronze Tier Scarlet Lord factions. The forces of the Scarlet Lords were at most 5,000 to 6,000. The members of the Lords could only instigate 400 to 500 insight defections and 500 to 600 fog monsters. If he took out 20% of the monsters that had been turned around and handed it to him, it would only be 100 to 200 yuan. With that in mind, 97,532 fog monsters was already a good harvest. Furthermore, this harvest was very easy. He just had to wait for the Alliance members to deliver themselves to his door every day. Most importantly, as the Alliance Master's strength increased, the enemies they faced would also become stronger and stronger. The number of soldiers who would turn the tables would also increase, and the number of subordinates he would obtain would also increase. Thinking of this beautiful future, Zhou Zhou could not help but look forward to it. Then, Zhou Zhou looked at the next report. This was the report list of the soldiers' increase in strength after using the Triumphal Arch. He now had a total of 619,952 soldiers. After passing through the Triumphal Arch, the strength of more than 110,000 soldiers had increased. Therefore, Zhou Zhou's Blazing Sun Army and the Monster Army had a total of 43,202 Black Iron Tier soldiers. There were 241,529 Green Bronze Tier soldiers, 142,825 of White Silver Tier, 131,250 of Yellow Gold Tier, 59,633 of White Platinum Tier, 1,513 of Diamond Tier, 6 Extraordinary Tier. A smile appeared on Zhou Zhou's face. The Triumphal Arch was indeed a good thing. Then, he suddenly thought of something and suddenly opened the attribute panel of the Triumphal Arch. His gaze landed on its architectural effect. Construction Blueprint Effect, Triumph Glory. When the Lord and his military professional subject returned victorious after the war and passed through the Triumphal Arch, if the promotion energy in the Lord and his military professional subject has already accumulated to more than 80%, there is a 50% chance of directly obtaining the promotion energy that is lacking and directly obtaining a breakthrough in Strength Realm. The promotion energy in my body has reached 90%. Can I use this Triumphal Arch to directly make up for my remaining 10%? Zhou Zhou couldn't help but think after seeing the effect of the Triumph Glory. He did not think for long. He called Bai Yun and left the beginner-grade Lord's Paradise, arriving at the Triumphal Arch. Zhou Zhou looked at the holy Triumphal Arch in front of him, took a deep breath, and walked over. The moment he walked to the Triumphal Arch suddenly lit up with golden light. Then, a gentle energy suddenly surged into his body from all directions and entered his heart. Then, with his heart as the center of operation, it surged into his limbs and bones, strengthening his body and soul strength. Soon, boom, a comfortable feeling surged into Zhou Zhou's heart as if he had broken through a bottleneck. Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. With the help of the Triumphal Arch, he broke through the bottleneck of the White Platinum Tier Advanced Grade and reached the Diamond Tier Elementary Grade. Zhou Zhou was delighted. He actually did it. This was not the end. After the Triumphal Arch assisted him in advancing to Diamond Tier Elementary Grade, it stopped providing him with promotion energy. However, at this moment, the medicinal power of the Calamity Crossing Spirit Pill hidden in various parts of Zhou Zhou's body seemed to sense that Zhou Zhou had advanced. It immediately turned into majestic promotion energy that surged into various parts of his body and soul, strengthening his physical and soul strength again. Zhou Zhou closed his eyes and accepted the enhancement of the energy. A moment later, when he felt that the promotion energy in his body had reached 90% again, this strengthening gradually stopped. Zhou Zhou opened his eyes. A smile appeared on his face as he sensed the astonishing power of the diamond tier elementary grade in his body. In less than 2 hours, his strength had increased from yellow gold tier advanced grade straight to diamond tier elementary grade. If others heard this, they would probably think that it was a fantasy. However, it really happened to him. It was unbelievable just thinking about it. Then, Zhou Zhou looked up at the triumphal arch. Triumphal arch. A moment later, Zhou Zhou felt that it was a pity that the triumphal arch did not send any more promotional energy to improve himself. It seemed that he could only win another battle tomorrow, and then return to continue improving his strength through the triumphal arch. While there was only a 50% chance that this kind of triumphal arch enhancement would happen, however, if he was lucky, his strength could break through to diamond tier advanced grade in a few days. At this moment, Bai Yun, who had been watching from the side the entire time, was completely stunned. She clearly remembered that her lord was only at yellow gold tier advanced grade in the final battlefield. She did not expect her lord's strength had broken through to white platinum tier advanced grade when she returned to the territory. Now, he had actually advanced again and directly broke through to the diamond tier elementary grade. She was in a daze. What kind of godly improvement was this? However, it was a good thing that her lord's strength had increased. She did not give it too much thought even though she was shocked. Zhou Zhou saw the expression on Bai Yun's face when he walked from the triumphal arch to her side. He smiled and did not explain. After saying a few simple words to her, he returned to his beginner grade Lord's Paradise. Zhou Zhou took out a set of diamond tier elementary grade skill books and learnt them. When he saw the updated skill list, a smile appeared on his face. It felt so good to increase his strength. Zhou Zhou took a look at the transaction he had posted on the marketplace before he went to bed. He discovered that he had bought 103 life elemental gems and 14 death elemental gems, which spent a total of 117 yellow gold tier mist cores. Zhou Zhou shook his head. It seemed that he still had to make a trip to the Aurora Kingdom tomorrow to ask about these 2 elemental gems. After that, he went to bed to rest. The next day, 4 o'clock in the morning, Zhou Zhou woke up on time. It was not time to summon his clansmen yet, and the monsters in the monster ranches had not been completely nurtured. On the other hand, the World Channel and the Star Alliance chat group had already become lively. The Lords of the Star Alliance were especially energetic. Did you guys sleep last night? I didn't sleep last night. I was waiting to use Insight Defection again today. Me too. The Insight Defection last night was really satisfying. My territory directly turned around more than 1,000 monsters, including 4 yellow gold tier monster soldiers. All my soldiers added up to only more than 700. Using Insight Defection once had directly doubled my military strength. I'm envious. You probably instigated an Insight Defection on the final battlefield. It wasn't my turn at that time. When I returned, I could only instigate an Insight Defection on a green bronze tier Scarlet Lord's territory around my territory. In the end, I only instigated an Insight Defection on more than 200 monster soldiers. However, I'm also very satisfied. I tried them out last night. These monster soldiers are so fierce. They're not afraid of death at all when they fight, and they're very strong. Sob sob sob, it wasn't my turn yesterday. I wonder if it'll be my turn today. Is the Alliance Master sleeping now? I wonder when we'll go to the final battlefield again today. He should be resting. Zhou Zhou smiled when he saw the content of the chat. It seemed that after the Insight Defection, these lords began to be enthusiastic about going to the final battlefield. He began to type, Lord of the Blazing Sun, I have something to do. I'll bring you to the final battlefield after 7 o'clock. Don't be anxious. There will be an opportunity for Insight Defection. Long live the Alliance Master. Is the Alliance Master staying up late too? I hope it's my turn today. Zhou Zhou stopped looking. After closing the chat group, he boarded Starry Night with 10,000 white platinum tier soldiers, 500 diamond rank soldiers, 3 extraordinary tier soldiers, by Yun and Nazario, and flew straight to the Aurora Kingdom.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.